Good morning, children. Welcome to class 4. So, today we are going to learn subject social studies, chapter 1 early humans. And in that chapter, we are going to learn about the lives of the early humans in the rock shelters. We are going to learn about the appearance of the food habits and also about clothes, shelter, and tools of the early humans. Now, so children, just look at the pictures which are given here. Picture 1, picture 2, and picture 3. What do they tell you about? Picture 1 tells us the tools which have been used in an olden days by an early human. And this is the way where they used to uh, paint their situations and all. And this is a pots which they used to use to cook. So these are the images, and by looking at these images, we will come to a point that these are not used in the present days. These have been used in the past days. So who might have used it? Probably we can assume that the early human have used this. So children, once you get your book, and then you can write your answers over there. So answer key will be shared to you. Now, did you know Bhimbetka caves? How do we know about the life of early humans? The Bhimbetka caves, which were the shelters of early humans, are more than 30,000 years old. These caves have paintings that show how early humans lived. So these caves are having the paintings and all. And who has found it is archaeologists. The archaeologists have studied paintings and the paints used. In some caves, they have found pots, sharp stones also. And these findings help them that how the early humans have adapted to the environment and what they eat. So who is an archaeologist? So the archaeologist is the one who studies the people who lived hundreds and thousands years ago with the help of the things found in the caves or deep under the ground. If you see in Hyderabad, you'll be having an archaeological museum. It is there at in the Abbotts. So there also you will find certain things where which the early our ancestors have used. So this is something which is telling us, which is a proof that early humans lived like this. Now, there is something which is a term called as rock shelters. So what are these rock shelters? Rock shelters are nothing. Earlier, they used to live in the caves. The early humans used to live in the caves. Those are called as rock shelters. And in these rock shelters, how do we find out that they are the rock shelters? So the thing is, when they are living over there, they used to draw some pictures on them. They used to use some tools or utensils, whatever they used to use. They all were there in those shelters.
It can be a nice experience to drive in the mountains with greenery and waterfalls all around. To go on a trip, we can travel by different means of transport, such as cars, trains, or aeroplanes. When we travel, we often carry food with us or stop at restaurants to eat. When we visit places in the mountains, we wear woolen clothes to keep ourselves warm. However, thousands of years ago, all these things were not there. No roads, means of transport, restaurants, hotels, woolen clothes. We humans did not even look the way we do now. Look at these pictures carefully and find out the difference. These were our earliest relatives or great grandparents. We call them early humans. The early humans looked different from us. They led a very different life. What was their life like? How did their life change? Let's find answers to all these questions. The time when early humans lived is known as prehistory. This is the time in history for which we have no written records. Then, how did we come to know about them? Historians, the people who study the past, have come to know about early humans from the bones, pots, stone tools, and cave paintings that have been found in some places. Early humans are called hominids. Hominids are a family of animals who looked somewhat similar to humans and could walk straight. Their body and looks changed over a very long period of time. Early humans depended on nature for everything they needed in their daily life. They had no clothes as we have now. So, what did they wear? They covered their bodies with animal skins or large leaves. Early humans did not have a home like we do. They lived in rock caves to protect themselves from heat, cold, and the rain. Sometimes they lived on trees. How did early humans share their thoughts with one another? Did they have any language like we have? How did they communicate with each other? They used hand movements and facial expressions to share their ideas with one another. Later, they started using animal sounds to communicate. Early human did not have the kind of food that we eat today. Then, what did they eat? They roamed in the forests to gather food. They ate fruits, nuts, and roots of plants. They also hunted and ate small animals. That is why they are also called hunter-gatherers. The early humans were expert hunters. They would hunt big animals in groups. Since they lived in groups, they always helped one another in everything. But how did the early humans hunt? Did they have weapons? Early humans needed tools and weapons for hunting. They began to use stone to kill animals. They also used stone to dig out roots from the soil. Soon, they learned how to sharpen stone to make better tools like hand axes and spears. Some tools were also made from animal bones and wood. In this way, stone became an important thing in their life. Therefore, this period came to be known as the Stone Age.
Tell us that early humans had strong arms and feet so that they were able to move fast and climb trees easily. They could also walk upright. They had strong jaws and teeth, which tell us that they were able to eat raw foods like flesh of animals. The man hunted animals and the woman gathered the fruits, nuts, roots, and berries for fruits. They had to move from one place to another in search of food and water. So, children, the appearance of the early human was known that they were having strong arms and feet, and they used to walk upright. They had strong jaws. How? because they used to eat raw flesh of animals. And the men used to hunt the animals, and the women used to gather the foods. And they had to move from one place to another in search of food and water. So, shelter. Appearance we have known. Now, what is their shelter? Early humans rested wherever they stopped for the night. They may have taken shelter on the branches of a trees in caves or in caves to protect themselves from heat, cold, and animals. Some lived in huge pits in the ground, which they covered with branches. Some used animal skins over large branches to make a tent. So their living is something where they used to live in the caves, they used to live on the trees, and they used to live make a tent to live with animal skin. Clothes. They used animal skin or stitched large leaves to cover their body to protect themselves from heat, cold, dust, and insects. So they used to use large leaves, stitched large leaves, and animal skin as clothes to protect themselves. Tools. Early humans realized that to survive they needed to feed and protect themselves. They began to use stones available around to kill animals for food and to use them as tools for defense. They used sharp edged stones for hunting and protecting themselves. They gradually learned to sharpen stones and pebbles to make hand axes. So these are the hand axes, and use them to kill animals and dig the soil. They also made spears and arrows for hunting and fishing. These are the spears. They were skilled in making tools, beads, ornaments, and statues from bones, antlers, and horns of animals. Now, children, when we see something, they are made up of certain things which are made up of animal skin or animal body parts, like elephants things will be there, which will be made by them only. So these all things the early human has taught us. It is not that we have got it into our mind and we were doing it. It is been taught by the early humans. So their appearance was too strong. They were using their shelters, the caves as the shelters, the trees and the branches, and the clothes they were using animal skin and the stitched lash leaves, and stones they were using to hunt and to make sharp tools. So these many things are which they have shown to us. So now, children, now there are some questions which I have for you. Can you tell me the answers for these questions? So early humans, what kind of shelters they were using? Yes, branches of trees, to, then caves and large branches to make tent to live in. Okay, what type of clothes they were using? They used animal skin and stitched large leaves. And what kind of tools they were using? Hammer stone, hand axe, spears. And what are they made up of? They are made up of the stone, right? So today we have learned these topics here. So after going home, what I want you to do